Formula One doesn't care who you are. Big names, big budgets, legendary badges. This sport will chew them up and spit them out, if not fit. Take Jaguar. Backed by Ford's millions, dressed up as Britain's green hope, it was supposed to be a modern dynasty. Instead, it was chaos. Constant management shakeups, sponsors fleeing, drivers stuck in midfield machinery. By 2004, Ford had seen enough. They sold the entire team, not for millions, not even for thousands, but for £1. The buyer? Red Bull. And the rest, as they say, is history. That's Formula One's brutal truth. Legends are often born from somebody else's wreckage. These are the manufacturers who came to conquer F1 and failed. Toyota, 2002 to 2009. When Toyota announced they were entering Formula One, the world expected fireworks. This was the biggest car maker on earth, armed with a brand new mega factory in Cologne and billions to burn. They didn't just want to join F1, they wanted to own it. But what they built was a lesson in how not to run a team. Corporate red tape slowed decisions. Engineers had to filter everything through managers who barely understood racing, and the so-called Toyota way that worked for road cars crushed the agility F1 demands. On track, the cars were fine, not terrible, not great. A couple of podiums, some flashes of pace, but no wins in 139 attempts. The closest they came was 2009, when Jarno Trulli and Timo Glock flirted with victory, but always just short. After 7 years, billions spent, and nothing to show for it, Toyota walked away. Their failure became the gold standard of wasted potential, proof that in Formula One, money doesn't buy glory. Toyota showed how even the biggest budget can flop. Jaguar's story? It was about a famous brand torn apart before it ever had a chance. Jaguar, Ford, 2000 to 2004. The Jaguar and Ford journey in F1 actually started with promise. Ford had bought Stewart Grand Prix, a plucky, overachieving team, and rebranded it as Jaguar Racing in 2000. The idea was simple: take Ford's money, Jaguar's prestige, and turn it into Britain's green racing empire. What happened was a circus. In just 5 years, Jaguar went through 8 different team bosses. Every season brought new management, new direction, and the same lack of results. Drivers like Eddie Irvine and Mark Webber were stuck in midfield cars, while Ford executives, thousands of miles away in Detroit, tried to run a racing team like a board meeting. There were flashes: a podium at Monaco in 2001, another at Monza in 2002, but those were the exceptions. By 2004, Jaguar had become a punchline. Ford had burned through millions and patience. In the end, they sold the entire team for a symbolic £1. The buyer, of course, was Red Bull, and from that wreckage came one of the most dominant dynasties Formula One has ever seen. And while Jaguar collapsed in chaos, Honda's downfall came with a cruel twist, because they actually built a winning car. Then the unexpected happened. Honda Works, 2006 to 2008. Honda came back as a full works team in 2006, with money, history, and Jenson Button leading the charge. For one magical night in Hungary that year, it looked like the gamble had paid off. Button stormed through the rain from 14th to take victory, but that was it. The seasons that followed unraveled fast. In 2007, Honda launched the infamous Earth car, a bold eco-statement wrapped around a car that was slow, unreliable, and ridiculed by everyone. 2008 wasn't much better, with Button and Rubens Barrichello stranded in the midfield, scraping for points. Then came the global financial crash. Honda pulled out overnight, shutting down the team in December 2008. But here's the cruel twist: the very car they abandoned became the 2009 Braun GP, and with a new coat of white paint, that car dominated the season and won both championships. Honda had walked away from the winner they'd been chasing all along. And if that wasn't painful enough, Honda's return years later with McLaren would go down as one of the most embarrassing partnerships in modern Formula One. McLaren-Honda, 2015 to 2017. On paper, it was a dream reunion. McLaren, the team of Senna's glory years. Honda, the engine supplier that powered those titles. Together again in 2015, they promised to bring back the golden age. But instead of dominance, they delivered disaster. The brand new Honda hybrid power unit was massively underpowered and painfully unreliable. Cars broke down in testing, races ended with smoke pouring from the back, and the once great McLaren was left crawling at the back of the grid. Fernando Alonso's frustration summed it up best. On live radio during the Japanese Grand Prix, Honda's home race, he called the engine a GP2 engine. The world heard it, and the humiliation was total. Year after year, McLaren sold hope, but fans only got DNFs and excuses. By 2017, the partnership was broken. McLaren ditched Honda, switched to Renault engines, and Honda had to rebuild its reputation with Toro Rosso. The irony? Just a few years later, Honda returned to the top, powering Red Bull and Max Verstappen to multiple world championships. The same company that had been laughed out of McLaren became the king of the grid. While McLaren and Honda were imploding in public, BMW's downfall was quieter, but no less brutal. BMW 2006 to 2009. BMW's works project began with real promise. They bought Sauber in 2006, brought in big resources, and immediately turned the team into a podium threat. By 2008, Robert Kubica was leading the World Championship after his win in Canada. For a moment, BMW looked ready to take on Ferrari and McLaren at the top. But that peak was also the turning point. Instead of going all in on the title fight, BMW shifted focus to developing for the following year. The decision backfired, their form collapsed, Kubica was left furious, and by 2009, the team had fallen back into the midfield. The global financial crisis did the rest. BMW, like many manufacturers, was bleeding cash from its road car business, and Formula One quickly became an expensive luxury they could no longer justify. By the end of 2009, the plug was pulled. The team was sold back to Peter Sauber, and the work stream was over before it had truly reached its ceiling. It was a brutal lesson. In F1, you don't get many chances. BMW had the car, the driver, and the budget, but not the timing. And when they blinked, the opportunity was gone. Next is a manufacturer that came in with swagger, but ended up as the punchline of modern F1 failures. Peugeot, 1994 to 2000. When Peugeot announced they were bringing their engines to Formula One, expectations were sky high. This was the same company that had crushed it in rallying and Le Mans. Surely F1 was the next stage to conquer. Their big debut came in 1994 with McLaren, but almost instantly it went wrong. The V10 engine was overweight, unreliable, and underpowered. Ron Dennis, McLaren's no-nonsense boss, famously described it as neither powerful enough nor reliable enough. That partnership lasted one season before McLaren dropped them. From there, Peugeot drifted into midfield obscurity. They supplied Jordan and later Prost, but the story never changed. Flashes of potential drowned out by constant breakdowns. Exploding engines, poor drivability, and a lack of technical progress turned them into the butt of paddock jokes. By 2000, Peugeot had enough. After years of DNFs, wasted money, and a reputation in tatters, they pulled the plug and left F1 entirely. Despite all their motorsport pedigree, they never managed a single win in Formula One. Peugeot's tale proved that pedigree in one racing arena doesn't guarantee success in another. F1 is a different beast, and Peugeot got eaten alive. The next story is even stranger. A manufacturer that showed up for one race, embarrassed itself, and disappeared almost instantly. Lola, 1997. Lola Cars had been building successful chassis in IndyCar and junior formulas for decades. In 1997, they decided it was finally time to step up to Formula One. Backed by MasterCard, they promised a bold, fan-powered project. Supporters could literally buy into the team, with the brand pushing a F1 club-style concept that sounded revolutionary at the time. The problem? They launched far too early. The car hadn't been fully tested, the design was rushed, and the engine was massively down on power. Their big debut came at the Australian Grand Prix, and it was a humiliation. Both cars were so slow they failed to qualify within the 107% rule. They never even made it to the race, becoming a laughingstock before the season had even started. By the next round, Lola was already gone, bankrupt. The whole F1 dream lasted exactly one weekend, shorter than most pre-season hype cycles. Lola's collapse is a reminder. In Formula One, history, ambition, and reputation mean nothing if the preparation isn't there. The sport won't wait for you, no matter how famous your name might be. But while Lola vanished in a flash, Renault had the opposite problem. They stuck around, tasted glory, and then watched it unravel in scandal and squandered potential. Renault, 2002 to 2011, 2016 to 2020. Renault is one of those manufacturers that feels like it should have been unstoppable, and for a moment, they were. Back-to-back championships in 2005 and 2006 with Fernando Alonso cemented their place as legends. But what followed? A roller coaster of chaos. After the glory years, Renault slipped fast. Budgets tightened, results dropped, and then came the biggest scandal of all, Crashgate in 2008. Ordering Nelson Piquet Jr. to deliberately crash so Alonso could win wasn't just a black eye, it was a stain that nearly ended their F1 presence for good. Bosses were banned, sponsors fled, and Renault's credibility took a nosedive. They left as a works team in 2011, came back in 2016 and promised to rebuild, but the magic never returned. Even with Daniel Ricciardo at the wheel, podiums were rare, wins non-existent. By 2020, Renault quietly rebranded to Alpine, trying to bury the ghosts of its past. For all their heritage, Renault's modern F1 story is less about glory and more about squandered potential, a reminder that one golden era doesn't guarantee another. Next is a team that never even had that golden era. In fact, their entire F1 run was a funny disaster, the kind of failure that fans still joke about today. Prost GP, 1997 to 2001. When Alain Prost, four-time world champion, the professor himself, bought Ligier in 1997 and rebranded it as Prost Grand Prix, the hype was sky high. A legend of the sport running his own team? It sounded like a fairy tale. The first season even teased promise, points scored, sponsors rolling in, French pride restored. But very quickly, reality set in. Prost wasn't just battling rival teams, he was battling debts, politics, and his own inexperience as a team boss. Engines failed, designs lagged behind, and without deep corporate backing, the dream started to unravel. By 2000, results dried up completely. The once proud team struggled just to qualify. Drivers came and went, money bled away, and the pressure mounted. In early 2002, Prost GP finally collapsed into bankruptcy, leaving nothing but memories of what could have been. It's one of the clearest examples in modern F, one of how even a legend behind the wheel can't turn that magic into management success. Prost, the driver, was brilliant. Prost, the team owner, a tragic reminder that talent doesn't always translate. But if Prost showed that legends can stumble, HRT showed what happens when a team never even gets off the ground. HRT 2010 to 2012. We promised 8 failures, but let's be honest, no F1 failure list is complete without HRT. When Hispania Racing Team entered Formula One in 2010, they sold a dream, Spain's first ever F1 team, backed by bold promises of national pride and fresh ideas. But from day one, it was clear they were in way over their heads. The car wasn't just slow, it was unfinished. They missed pre-season testing entirely, rolled into the first race barely ready, and spent most weekends fighting just to qualify. On bad days, they didn't even make the grid, failing the 107% rule. And when they did start, they were often lapped 3 or 4 times, turning into moving chicanes for the frontrunners. Funding was a nightmare too. Sponsors disappeared as fast as they arrived, and most of their drivers were pay-to-play rookies, names like Karan Chandok, Bruno Senna, and Narain Karthikeyan, who brought money but couldn't lift the team out of the back. The team changed owners multiple times in just 3 years, each new buyer promising salvation that never came. By 2012, the dream was dead. HRT folded without scoring a single point. Their 3-year stint became the textbook example of what happens when ambition isn't backed by money, preparation, or stability. And with that, we've covered the manufacturers who tried and failed to conquer Formula One. From giants like Toyota and Jaguar burning fortunes, to legends like Prost, who discovered that running a team is a different beast, to minnows like HRT, who never stood a chance. These failures show that F1 isn't just about money, history, or even talent. It's about getting everything right: engineering, culture, timing, and a little bit of luck. Miss one piece, and even the biggest names can vanish into the sport's scrap heap. So, which manufacturer do you think failed the hardest in F1? Drop your pick in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Till the next video, bye.